Hey guys, welcome to my channel. It's Ellen. Today is Mini Monday, so we're doing Mini Mondays, Monday Madness Gnomes. You don't know me. I don't know why I was thinking that in my head. I go over this step by step. I have a traceable for these gnomes. These two little gnomes right here, 1, 2, are additional traceable for the Patreon members. And these two I will be presenting and showing you how to draw and paint today on my channel. If you haven't hit the bell notification button, please hit the bell notification button to know my tutorials up. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. If you want to join my Patreon, it's a place where I have ad-free videos, traceables, exclusive tutorials on Thursdays, and a live stream on the top tier, plus a download from me. It's a place people go and support my channel, which I appreciate so much. And you, like I said, the Patreon members get these two additional traceable drawings. Yeah, so I appreciate it. You can check it out right up here, boop, and see what it's all about. So if you have any questions, leave them in the comment section. But let's get out our paints and start gnoming it down. Okay, guys, so I'm going to go over my supplies. I have with me 2 pieces of this paper from Stonehenge. It's a little mini pad. I have a link to this in my description box. This is hot press paper. So like it says, it's smooth and silky, and water permeates slowly on this paper, allowing time for fine details. People use hot press paper for watercolor botanicals that are really detailed. So it's going to sit kind of on top of the paper a little bit. So you're going to try and need to use less water, as opposed to the cold press from Arch, which soaks that water, soaks it in. It keeps the pigments pretty bright on the paper, so it's fun to use. Like I said, this little pad. I have my 2 drawings here, my paper towel, my paints. I go over them as I use them. I'll be working with the Princeton 8 and 4 long round velvet touch series brush. Water jars up here. Like I said, if you're a Patreon member, you can download the traceables. So you can, there's actually a couple extra ones, and you can paint up these guys. I painted up these guys as part of the extra traceable. If you're not a Patreon member, I'm going to show you how to draw these guys. Pretty simple gnomes. I have a bunch of gnomes I used to do years ago. I haven't done them in a while, but this guy, you know, basically, he got his nose, which is like an oblong shape, right? And you're just going to, from here, from the center of the nose, curve down, right from here, curve down, and then you're going to kind of just meet him in the middle. That's the thing, their face, and then you can just, for their cap, take the line and go over the nose and down, right? And if you want to make this one, go up again and meet that, and then make like a rounded triangle, and then his body, gnome, and then you could just make all kinds of patterns. Zigzag, whatever, stripes. That's for this guy. This guy's a little bit different with the nose and the mouth. There's the nose again. This time we're going to have the whisk, well, think of a mustache, basically what it is, coming outward like that. So I have it going out, in and out, like a different type of, you know, beard. And then the hat is up and down and over, right? And then you're just going like this. Simple like that. So slow the video down if you're having difficulty. So I've got the 2 drawings here. I try to work simultaneously when I'm doing similar colors. So I'm going to mix up some reds. I like to make my red. I'm going to use this cadmium yellow deep. I'm going to put some over here and here for green, infrared here, and yellow. So cadmium yellow deep and quinachradone magenta make a nice pretty red. Look at that, like a pinky red. You can always add more yellow to make it more real red, but this way you have an option. I'll see, I'll add a little more yellow, gets a little more red. I have these 2 yellows to make green, so I use my peacock blue with the cadmium yellow deep, and you get this nice bright green. You know that I talk about this all the time, the Prussian blue. That's watered down from the peacock blue. Prussian blue and cadmium yellow deep. Make a darker, deeper green and keep adding more blue. Look at that. I add a little umber, a little brown to it, just to get the green. Now there's a lot of water going here, and you might not necessarily want that. I'm going to add a little more yellow to the screen. And then, of course, people ask all the time, what's with the neutral tint? Neutral tint is an actual color. This is neutral tint. It's like a Payne's gray, but it has a little more blue, purple kind of tone to it. And I just water this down. I also use sometimes for blacks, actual black gouache, and I water that down. It has a little more brown to it. If this seems a little too bluish, you can add some of this brown in here, depending on how much blue you want. All right, so let's get going. So I have the pencil in here already, and I kind of don't know if I want to really see that. So I'm just going to erase it with this little gum eraser. Just get rid of some of the pencil lines. Now I didn't tape these down. I'm just not going to tape it down today. Sound effects. So you can start by doing the beard. You can start by doing the hat. I think I'll do this hat. We're going to flip back and forth. Do this red hat. Now you'll see how the paint, I'm using my number 8 by the way, just kind of sits on top because it's a hot press. This hot press, this particular pad, I mean it's not typical hot press either because I work with that also. If I'm using arch hot press, so you can get a bleed similar to the arch cold press but not quite the same. This is really kind of paper that you'd want for fine details on layering with watercolor. See, I take off the excess and tap it on the paper towel. I have a new Princeton 8 long round, so the tip is phenomenal. Every now and then I get a new brush. You can also try to do the soap trick. You see, it's just sitting on top of that paper, just kind of soaking in. You can make another deeper red or have it. I have a alizarin crimson close by. I add a teeny bit of like Prussian blue to that. A little bit umber. Get like a deeper red. And some yellow. Trying to get a darker red. So mix up a darker red by adding those colors. It's all the same. It's like these two colors, and you can add a little bit of Prussian blue and burnt umber. And see, now I've made it a little bit deeper, darker. I'm just kind of taking that and putting it on the sides of the hat. But that paint just kind of really just sits there, soaking in. And the colors get really, really intense. I think when you're using the cold press, it really soaks it in, so you kind of lose a lot of the color. So it's just different ways to play around. It's okay. So now we can use, I think for this hat, this guy, we went one red, one green, so we'll keep that one green. This whole area is his beard down here, so we're not going to put any red there. We could put red on the brim, so if we want to put red on the brim of the hat, green hat, red brim, let's do that. Again, don't have to follow what I'm doing. Do your own color. You can make it purple, pink, yellow, whatever color you want. The pattern in the hat could change. The beard can change. I'm just going to show you how I would do this technique on this kind of paper. Now this is a little lighter because I have more water in it. I can get some more pigment by adding this color. Oh, that's a little more orangey color. Go back and add some more of that magenta. So since the color that was first down is lighter, I can, when I go to add the other color on the edges, that bleeds in darker. Creates that little bleed effect. Wet on wet. Gonna really have to wait till these guys dry. Okay, moving on, back and forth. I'm gonna be using the neutral tint for his beard. Water it down. So let me show you how I'm going to do this. So you know the outlines. I'm going to start by outlining this one first and going down. I like this point. This color is a little too purplish, so I'm adding a little brown in here. Don't be afraid that it looks, oh my God, it's a white beard, but it looks so gray. Well, it's going to have shadows because it's going to have shadows. So see how I had that gray? Kind of swooping it up. No, I don't like how dark it is right there. I'm just going to kind of lift up the paint a little bit. Tap it on the paper towel. I'll outline this. And I'm going to do these little lines like this. See that? I took the paintbrush, made some lines. I'll do some lines down here too. Outline that. Go up to the top part of like the mustachy part. Kind of outlining it, like you see. And then I make these little lines that come down. There's a method to my madness. Outlining it. Make these little lines. And then some lines here. See if we got these little lines going. So now we're going to get a little bit darker. I'm grabbing some of this paint over here that's less water connected to it. So don't be afraid to add the darker gray. Obviously it's going to have a shadow underneath this one, this top mustache. Going back in, getting darker. And then we get darker down here. See? I don't mind it being darker. You want to see some details. The fun beard. You still know that it's white, but gotta get that shadow in there. Now, clean up your brush, and you can kind of push the paint too. Got a little red in my paintbrush. To fill it in, make it a little more gray. I want a gray, the shadow, but I don't want it too gray. So you're gonna have to play around with that. And then I'll put some in here. All right, don't want to get this guy a little too crazy. I'm gonna let him sit for a bit. We're gonna move on to this guy again. Same premise, right? Just gonna kind of outline it. Try to move pretty quickly here. Excess, push off. So I want the gray, see I'm doing this gray kind of wash of color. And I'll take my brush and I'll clean it off and I'll kind of blend it. Same thing over here. When that dries, I'll come back. There's a lot of water here. And I'll do the lines. I'm going to do some darker lines here. Line out here. Can do those little lines, or just put a wash of color. I kind of play with it as I go. I never know if I'm going to do it that way or not. I change my mind sometimes. So I do think I'll put some lines in this one. Let's see how fast this dries. It dries pretty fast. I can go back in. Still bleeding. Add some of the detailed lines. The beard. Now you don't have to add lines. If you just want to have some nice pretty white beard and add some shadows, do that. I'm lifting up some of the paint. I don't know if I want lines in this one. I want some. So I'm just going to go back in and clean it up. And you could see some lines, but there's not intensity to it. Same thing with this one. I'm going to kind of wash these ones a little bit. And I'll put a wash of gray in here. All right, I'm going to go back and forth again because remember, we're doing it. So this is dry. I'm going to go in again and add some deeper gray at the tip. Getting that detail around the nose. And here. And then I should put some color down in here where those ones kind of overshadow that one. Again, this one's on top of this, so this one has a shadow. Same thing with this one. And then down here. People get very afraid to put in deeper tones. Don't. Because then you won't, you can see that. You can see the definition of the beard. You can see the lines. That's the whole point. Right? Isn't it cute? And then right inside here, you can keep, I would put a little gray in here because we want the nose just to be this nice peachy, pinky color. And that's more highlighted if the other colors around it are not the same color. Just gray. Fill that in. It's like hiding under there, right? The ball you can keep white. You can add a little gray to that. On the edge of it, the pom-pom. Now this hat, we want to make the reds darker because we're going to do like a plaid to it. So again, I've got this red and the yellow. And I'll take a teeny bit touch of Prussian blue. Oh, see, just a teeny bit. Look at that. I already changed the color and I have to go add some more. Let's see how the color looks. We're going to just paint some lines. Yes, you can see them. Curve it, the hat. Do another skinny line next to it. Do a thick line. Thicker than that skinny one. Skinny line next to it. Thick line. And skinny. Now if it dries and is still too light, like I said, go back in. Add those colors, Prussian blue, peacock, little burnt umber, little red. Mine's drying a little bit lighter. It can also add a little bit deeper color on the edges of those lines too. I want it just a little bit darker. And when that dries, we're going to crisscross on top of it and it'll create the plaid. Okay. So go back, use that same color. We could do like the knit cap lines, the parallel lines kind of curving with the hat. Boom. And then for the hat itself, we can do multiple colors. You can have greens, reds. Look at that medium green here. See how the paint just sits there? It's just puddles on top. Doesn't soak in like the Arch cotton cold press. So you're going to have to kind of wipe up the paint. See how I'm doing that? Like mop it up. And I've got the dark green. I'm playing around with all the colors. I could put the dark green down here. I had a zigzag. I might still keep it. Or take it out, I don't know. Right, with that light green up top. So I'm doing like a green. Tippy tap. Now, I'm gonna go back to our red. See how I flip back and forth? I gotta mix up some more of this red. Really deep. Okay. So now we're going to go right back down. Same thing we're going to do before. The thick line, the thin line. I'm doing the thick one first. So thick line. and then do a thin line. You don't have to do plaid. That's a little funny plaid hat. Moving along, we're going to go back and forth. We're going to add some red. I'm sorry, I'm mixing up more red to the hat in between. Could have left it white, but I'm going to do red. So there you go, red in between. And you can do the red pom-pom. Sound effects and all. It's a little tricky to paint with this brush. I haven't used the 4 yet. If you want to use the 4 to have better control. This one has a great point, but it is a bigger brush, so. All right. I might use my 4, so let's do his nose. I'm just going to make like a peachy color so you can mix yellow. I'll do it up here. Yellow with a little magenta. All right, you get a peachy orange nose, maybe a little more magenta. Or like a pinky. I want a blush tone. Mix the two to make a blush. Okay, tap it on paper towel. And I'm just going to go like this, just around. I'm not going to paint the entire thing. Paint that section, and then I'll grab some water, clean it off, just go like that. For the nose. Same thing here. Now you can make the nose, you know, not so peachy. You can make it more red. Choose what you like to do. I might see I made it a little peachy. Might make it a little bit more reddish in the bottom here. Like he's been out in the cold. It's cold. Always leave a little halo. See the little halo? Little white spot. Leave the little white spot. Boom. All right, let's finish up the hat. So we got the number 4 brush. Let's make some patterns. You can do snowflake, whatever. I mean, I have a snowflake, so just simple snowflake. Crisscross, crisscross, crisscross applesauce, right? Zigzag, stripes, a little dot up here. Don't have to get too crazy, you know? Adding a little deeper color here on the edge. All right, now we're gonna just finish it off. Oh, by the way, his beard. I do want to go back in, and you know, you just fix those lines if you want to fix the lines. Add some more. Ooh, my gray got a little brown. I'll go back in and I'll just highlight under the nose here, and I'll make those lines like I talked about. And you can add little dots on the top for eyes if you want to do that as well. So I'm going to get a little bit darker here because it's shadow of the hat. And there's little lines. Okay, now we're just going to mix up a blue. And put them around both of them. Now I like the combination of this pink color. Goodness. Ultramarine blue. And you're going to have to kind of paint fast in this one. Prussian blue. A little neutral tint. Oops, that's a little too much neutral tint. Test out the blue. You don't have to do my blue. I'm watering this down. I might actually add some peacock too. Neutral tint. I'm just playing around with adding blue. Just make a blue. At this point, make any blue you want. And we're going to go fast. Putting a blue in. Sound effects and all. While it's wet, see, it's still sitting on top of the paper because I told you the hot press does this. While it's wet, you got to work pretty quickly to do any kind of bleeding if you want a deeper color, which I'll show you in a second. So it's going to be tricky for some people to do this fast. But if you want to do sections and then kind of blend them, you can do that too. So those same colors, just mix them up a little bit darker. I'm going to mix ultramarine blue with a little neutral tint. And some of this color is a little bit darker while this is still wet. See, that dried fast over here. So I'm going to have to just clean up my brush, grab some water, and blend it. But some of it didn't. So, see, this one didn't. So we can just kind of tap the water, tap the darker color right around. I kind of tend to just want to keep it around like this area, his hat, his face. Not everywhere. Around the pom-pom. So it really stands out even back here. So you kind of dried here. Now, while that's still wet, I'm going to grab, I have some white gouache already, but mine's dried out. So just wasting time on trying to activate it. Grab your gouache. All right, I'll do one of these at a time. And then we're going to, guess what we're going to do? We're going to splatter it. Of course we are. By the way, also, you can just take the tip of your brush with the gouache and see how I just tap it and it's doing that cool bleeding, like that bokeh kind of look. Now it's going to blend and it's going to turn like a light blue. So I'm going to do that and I'm going to splatter it. Why? So it's got snow on his hat. It's not wet enough. It's not wet enough, it's not splattering enough. Ta-da! I want to see how that, I love how it repels the color and it does that cool look. Go back on this guy. Get that blue. Gotta move fast. I'm used to painting fast. So this might be the intermediate part for people. I'm sorry, but you'll get there. And that's why if you have a bigger brush like I do, the Umber 8, you can go fast. See how fast? Because it has more belly in it. And you just push that paint around. Belly is this part. So I'm going to grab less watered paint, which is the ultramarine and the neutral tint, and bleed in some. Oh, that's a little too black. Some blue color. That's a little too dark. But you know what? Who cares? I'm going to do it anyway. Get more blue in there. There we go. That's a little too blue. Okay, just hitting the edges like I did before. See how it's repelling and going out where it's trying to go where the water is. Now I don't want that whole top half to be dark, so I'm going to remove some of that paint. See that? Again, you can just take the gouache and just tap it, and it's going to repel where it wants to repel. It's got that chalk in it. No, so you don't have to splatter if you don't want to. This one I might not splatter. I might just do the repel thing. And then when it dries, you can go back in and you can add the little dot in the center because it's going to dry really kind of almost like light blue. And you add the little white dot and it will look like it's just glowing. All right, so we're going to let this dry and come back. All right, guys, once it's dry, like I said, just take the tip of your brush. See those little white spots? You grab the gouache, go right into the center, and it looks like they're just sparkling in the night. I love it. Really get into doing that. See, especially over here. You can notice it more on this one. Right in the center. Just like I did with that bokeh Christmas tree. Bokeh, bokeh, bokeh. And then you can strategically add some snowflakes. You could add a little crisscross applesauce, little highlight, you know, here and there. Kind of nice. Or a snowflake or whatever, you know, do what you want to do. I just go in and add a little white dot in between this on his cap and some white dots on his cap. Have fun with this, guys. So that is our mini Monday Madness. Know me. You don't know me. And like I said, if you're Patreon, you can go download the additional traceables so you can do these too. So hope you guys enjoy this mini Monday Madness gnome style. If any questions, leave in the comment section. Have fun with it, guys. Play around with it. Try this lesion paper, these cute little pads. I put an affiliate link in there. I mean, I get a tiny fee for that because I tried to find it and put it on Amazon for you. That's where I bought it. I bought a box of them. There's a whole video on the mini pads that I did. So go back through some mini Mondays and you'll find them. There's like a black one. Then there's that hot press, cold press, and a really thick one. They're fun. So there you go. So take care, guys, and I'll speak to you soon.